Yes, guys. Welcome back to the Tottenham concept. Well. What can I say about our front line that's not been said about Paul Walker's car accident? Look, I don't want to make that the main focus today, although it's going to be very hard to get away from it. The game's just finished. Tottenham won 2-1. As far as I'm concerned, we snatched that win from the jaws of defeat. Look, listen, it's not all negative. It's not. Because look, at the end of the day, I'm really enjoying the football that De Zerbi's trying to play, and you know what, I for one can at least appreciate that. Like many of you, no doubt. But unless you fix that forward line, we ain't doing shit this season. I think we'd go from 17th to mid-table if we're lucky. But look, we're going to jump straight into it. The game, the first half. I noticed straight away, right? Did I say welcome to the Tottenham concept? Oh, God, I'm going to do this whole video and then realise I didn't introduce the channel. Regardless, we move. Yeah, I know straight away from the kickoff that the level of opposition, the quality compared to what we've been playing, straight away, the pressing, they were on us like flies on shit. I noticed with a few players today, look, again, overall, before I continue, it wasn't a bad game. It was unfortunate, but it wasn't a bad game. But look, I'll go to a few players. Tonali, albeit he had a lot of wayward passes, I can at least appreciate with him, he tries to make something happen. And the problem for me is I think the people around him aren't on his level. So, he's making these passes and people are like, oh, I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, he had a few wayward passes, but overall, I can appreciate the fact that when he gets the ball, he tries to make things happen. So for me, we'll have more of that, please, and hopefully with better players around him. Hopefully, we'll see him shine even more. I'm gutted about Fernandes. That's just come through today that it is confirmed he's injured. How bad, I don't know. We know Maddison as well, by the way, injured for another 2 weeks. Great. So now we have no recognised number 10 going into the new season. Wonderful. But yeah, so Tonali, a bit of a mixed bag. Look, he got the goal, but we'll get to that in a bit. I also noticed with Tell early on, and this is the difference in levels, I think, right? I noticed with Archie Gray early on that he made a couple of really poor decisions. And it's almost like he panics in big games. Look, and again, I know this is a friendly, but it's against Chelsea. We don't want to lose this, and we need people to show up, right? But yeah, he made a few mistakes. He grew into the game, but he made a few mistakes where I just thought, are you at that level we really need for the Premier League? I don't think so. What we do with Gray, I don't know. I'd imagine we're going to keep him, but that's probably solely based on the fact that he's English and he's half decent. So if I look here, Gallagher, I actually thought had a decent first half. But then this is what happens when you don't play him as a cam. Yeah, I get it. There was no one else. Fine. I'd say there was no one else. Donnelly, maybe play him, but I don't know. But look, when he's played deep in his position, Gallagher is a decent player. Can we agree on that? I'm not outstanding, but he won possession back a few times. Admittedly, he tried to kill someone. But aside from that, I thought he had a half-decent game. He contributed. Tonali's goal. I mean, don't tell anyone, but I think that shot was off target. I'm pretty sure it was. So the deflection, lovely job that'll do. We take it. The fact that he was there, it was a lovely, lovely layoff from Solomon. Lovely layoff. You can't complain. Yeah, nice assist from him. Tonali drills it. It goes in the was it top right? I can't remember. Again, I should know this. But either way, it was a goal. Rock on. We got underway. I noticed for the goal that they scored shortly thereafter. I mean, what are we doing here? Archie Gray's not a fecking right back. Van Heck, for me, I know he was trying to show him outside, but I felt like he wasn't. Oh, I don't know. I felt like he was standing off a bit too much. I felt like he could have maybe got a leg in, maybe. But either way, I'm not sure what Chelsea player it was, but they managed to get a lovely cross in. And then we get to Robinson. Robinson completely lost his man. I think, is it Estavio? You can't be doing that, Robbo. You can't be doing that on your first showing against a good quality team. What are we doing? I mean, and he gave such a good showing of himself the other day as well. You know, I was praising Robbo, to be fair. But this game has left me with massive doubts over him. And I know I shouldn't judge on 1 or 2 games. I get that. But yeah, there were big things that I saw and I thought, concerning. But, regardless, we move. The goal goes in. Could Kingsley have done any better? Maybe. But regardless, it is what it is. Goal was scored. I will say this much. Tell in that first half, the more I see him, the more I think he should be in the Championship. I don't think Tottenham is his level. And I feel that, and I'm sure you do as well, about our entire front line. You know what? I'll say this much. I think if you take Tottenham's front line and go down to the Championship, I don't think it improves. I don't think they're scoring goals. It's really hard to watch because the thing is, we're doing everything else right. De Zerbi's getting the team to cook. I love it, but we've got no quality up front, and it's driving me mad. But look, the second half rolled around. I mean, I was doing a live stream with Stel. Go check that out if you want. It's Tottenham away, ole ole. He always does great content. I was doing the live stream with him, and we had a debate last night. We were on the Hotspur Hood again. Go check that out. Danny's a great content creator as well. We were on the Hotspur Hood and we were discussing Danso. Now, I quite like Danso. I'm going to be honest. I think he's a good, solid, reliable centre back. He has issues with, being a technical player, as it were. He's not good with the ball at his feet. There's no mistake in that. I mean, he has the occasional drive, but other than that, he sort of falls over himself. But look, overall, I think Danso is a good, solid defender, and I appreciate the fact that he's at Tottenham. He's done a job for us. There's been very few times I think, fucking hell, Danso. So I'm grateful for him. And this was the conversation because Stel completely disagreed. He said Danso, he doesn't work in a De Zerbi system. He's right, to be fair, but I still don't think you should shove off a player for not having one attribute. I just feel like Danso as a whole is a good defender. He got sent off first 2 minutes of the second half. So it certainly didn't help my case, but it is what it is. It's one of those. It's I sat there and thought that is so typical. So typical. But look, yeah, early doors, Danso goes off, completely changes the dynamic of the game. I'll say this much. I don't think Chelsea took advantage by any way, shape, form. I really don't. I actually feel like we held our shape quite well. I feel like we gave as good as we got. We weren't completely penned in, which is what we should have been getting. I mean, again, Chelsea didn't take advantage of the wide areas, which they should have. When you're down at 10 men, it's best to go wide because you're stretching the play. They didn't do any of that, so it kind of played into our hands. But as the second half went on, we did all right. Okay, I mean, we won the fucking game, so we must have done half decent. It was very to and fro. We didn't really have much of an outlet, which you'd expect with 10 men. You're always going to be in trouble, and it's such a shame because it completely ruined the game. Again, that front line, there's just nothing there. Nothing there. Like Richarlison and Solanke, right? It's like choosing between a donkey and a pigeon. It's like they're non-existent most of the time. I mean, you wouldn't have guessed Solanke even played today. I didn't see him. I saw his name on the team sheet. I didn't see him. Yeah. Oh God, I don't want to go into the season like this. Look, it is what it is. Either way, the second half it continued. We held our ground as well as could be expected, I suppose. Kinski, I do want to say this right now. Listen, I don't advocate for him being number one. But the more I watch the guy, the more I think, do you know what? I can see why Roberto has chosen him. I mean, Danny says it right. We really should go and get a more established keeper, someone like the guy from Roma. I'm not going to pronounce his name because I'll probably fucking butcher it. But yeah, like Dan's right in that respect. However, the more I watch Kinski, the more I like him. It's like having another outfield player in goal. He's so comfortable with his feet. It's a joy to watch a lot of the times. I'm not going to lie. It's so nice. He's so composed with the ball at his feet. And look, he made 3 or 4 good saves. You know, he certainly didn't hurt his case for staying in goal for Tottenham this season. I just think, like Danny, I would prefer someone a bit more experienced. Because listen, if it goes wrong, not only is that a notch on the Zerbi for keeping him, because realistically, you're not asking for a lot of money for a goalkeeper. Not really. You probably pick up a goalkeeper for what, 30, 40 million, maybe. It's not a lot. Not when you're spending 100 million on midfielders, you know. That's all I'm saying. But, you know, I'm making it sound negative to Kinski. I like Kinski. He is a good keeper. I just don't know if he is the right guy for the job at hand for this coming Premier League season. But again, I have said previously that the players we've bought around him are going to infinitely improve his chances of doing better this season. You know, we've bought in some real quality midfield and defence, some real quality. Although I'm starting to strike off Robinson already, which is pretty bad. That geezer could not defend today. I'm absolutely livid with Robinson. He was poor. Like, when I say poor, I mean Matthews Tell last season kind of poor. Just nothing. Wasn't a great outlet. Could not defend to save his life. And that really concerns me. That really concerns me. You know, if that's what we're going to see going forward, and God, I hope it was just one bad game, I'd rather Udogi. Yeah, I know. Probably screaming at me right now. But yeah, look, overall, a few players had a decent game. I mean, when the youth came on, and I'm not going to sing their praises, but admittedly, energy levels they rose. But then you expect that of youth players. There was some little guy, I think, what's his name? Tiny, Tinny. I'm not sure. He looked like he was about 12 years old. I thought someone had been picked out of the crowd to go and play a game. Tierney, I have no idea what his name is. He looks 12 years old. But I sat there and thought, are you old enough to play in this game, mate? Shocking. Now, I've been avoiding this because I can't pronounce his name. But our left back, for this instance, we're going to call him Keir Starmer because I can't read his name at all. And I don't want to butcher it. But it was the... out of the 2 defenders that came on, he had the darker skin with the dreads. I really need to learn his name. He had a fantastic moment in that second half. Good Lord. Sort of pirouetted on the ball and just run it straight into the box. Bob took a shot. I think it come off the bar. Yeah, unreal. He must have been buzzing after that game, but I know I would be. But yeah, like I said, overall, it wasn't a terrible game. It was ruined by the red card, for sure, no doubt. But it was all right. I just don't know where we're going to go with this forward line, guys. I don't want to sit here and be like negative towards it in terms of we're not going to sign anyone. But I would be a liar if I said I'm really, I'm not nervous about it, because I am. Like, I know De Zerbi knows we need a forward line. He said we're buying them, but we're Tottenham fans, mate. We're used to being lied to. We're used to things going quiet. We're used to things not happening. We're used to not fixing problem fucking positions. That's our bag, baby. I just hope it gets addressed sooner rather than later, because we've got 3 weeks. 3 weeks until the Premier League starts. What are we doing? We started so well, so quick, bang out the gates. We take you, and you. It was like a kid in a toy store. I'll have that, and that. and then the most important part of the team. Oh, I'm hoping when we get to the end of this fucking transfer window, right, that we're all sat there saying, you know what, we did it right. Pat on the back, Spurs, well done. You've built it. You built a team right. You started at the back and you went forward. I just think, given how bad our forward line is, I think that's where maybe the nerves are coming from as Spurs fans. You know, but look, onwards and upwards. I hope. I might actually do a watch along for the next one. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure 3 or 4 of you would like to see that. I did my first one with Still. It was very enjoyable, to be honest. But yeah, like I say, we'll see what happens moving forward. I'm hoping in the next week or two, the next week ideally, I'm hoping we pick someone up for that front line. We can't continue like this, Tottenham. What are we doing? But listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe to the Tottenham Concept. It'd mean a lot to me. And if you don't want to, yeah, fair enough. I understand. But I'd appreciate it if you can. I will catch you in the next one. It will most likely be another review unless something crazy happens. So until then, take care. Thank you for stopping by.